Greetings, Earthlings. Welcome to Planet and Alien here on YouTube. Hello. Hope you guys are having a great day. Let's start this day with some positivity. Negativity gets you nowhere, except down in the dumps. You don't want to be down in the dumps. It sucks. Okay, so why I'm making this video, because as you can tell, it's Riverdale related. I know. Whatevs. I think we're past that point, but, I'm just going to continuously say it because, I'm different, so, I do different things every time. But just so happens to be Riverdale related. I don't know. So anyways, let's get into this video. Okay, so I'm going to read something, because I got asked to do this video, and basically, now I'm going to insert, I don't know if they want me to insert the comment. I feel like maybe I shouldn't address that. Okay, I'm just going to address it. Ryan Stannard, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, please, I'm so sorry. I'm going to insert the comment. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't. But he asked, can you do a video on your favorite ships in Riverdale, Barchi, Choni, and other ships, and why you ship them? Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Does anybody know where that's from? Yes, yes, yes. If you know, please comment down below. Okay, so, my favorite ships on Riverdale, and why? Well, I've touched on a lot of my favorite ships. Choni, yes, I got it right. Choni, Barchi, Veronica, Phallus. Those would be my main ships. Also, Fred and Hermione. I hate to say it, but a little piece of me inside really wants them back together. It's not wrong, okay? I don't think it's wrong. I think it should happen. Let's be honest. She needs to be done with Hiram. Ooh, season 3, the takedown of Hiram Lodge. I can just see it. Best season yet. Oh yeah, that new prison he's building, he can be the first prisoner. Anyways, okay. So let's start with my #1 ship on the show, which you guys already know, Barchi. Archie Andrews and Betty Cooper. My loves. I am actually in the process of making a video about them, not like this kind of video, but a fan-made video about, basically explaining why I think they're endgame and all this stuff, including a lot of the moments and things said that I think point to them being endgame and all that shit. So I'm in the works of doing that, because I really want to make a video of, why I think Archie and Betty are endgame with proof, showing you, look at how he looks at her, or look at how they kiss, kind of pointing out, it's kind of obvious Archie and Betty aren't dating, but they are endgame. That sticks with me forever. Seriously, that is, something I will never get out of my head. Never. Never. It's, I'm sorry, but no one can tell me that little comment meant nothing. Because, just saying Betty and Archie aren't dating, but they are endgame. They're not dating, which is obvious, but they are endgame. So, they're not even dating, and he already thinks they're endgame. And, for that to be said first episode, season 1, come on, man. It means something. Not to mention, later that day, she tells him how she feels, and he rejects her because, he doesn't think he's good enough. And it's they're still not dating, but they are endgame. Because they freaking are, man. I know they're endgame. I hate to tell you, because eventually FP and Alice are going to get together. And no offense, but their history is a lot more important than what Betty and Jughead have, sorry. And I'm not saying Betty and Jughead have to break up because FP and Alice get together, but it would kind of make sense to do that. Not to mention, I feel like they would break up long before they even got together, because, I'm sure they're not going to get together super soon. I don't know. The writers, But, yeah, especially since Alice is going through that whole thing with Hal being the Black Hood, and she's kind of losing it. Maybe FP will be there for her. Oh my god, that would be so sweet. Okay, sorry. Okay, so Archie and Betty. Yeah, I instantly loved them. Honestly, I didn't go into the show, of course, when I was younger in line at the store, I just passed through the comics, and I always did really love Archie and Betty. I don't know, I was just always excited when they were in, a little comic scene together, and I would look through the pages and see them and stuff, and I don't know, I just liked Archie and Betty. I don't know if I shipped them or I just really loved them together. It was just I really loved them. But going into the show, I just kind of went into the show with open eyes, just seeing if I was going to like it, and if it was going to be what I expected it to be, what was it going to be like. And of course, I fell fucking in love with the show. God, I miss it so much. I miss it so much. I get so sad. But, I mean, season 1, episode 1, I mean, right there, Archie and Betty. Like, it right there. Like, I shipped it. Oh my God. Like, that scene where he's, like, putting his shirt on and Kevin looks and he's like, oh my God, Archie got hot. And Betty looks and she's like, and it's just like, oh yeah, I ship them. Like, and they're best friends. Like, I'm sorry, but I love that kind of thing. Like, even Cole Sprouse himself has said he loves Archie and Betty because he loves, like, relationships that are, like, rooted in friendship, which I love too. Like, I love that Betty and Archie have been best friends since, like, 4 years old. They've lived next to each other since they were 4 years old. I mean, she helped him pass, first grade, I believe it was, so that they could, she helped him pass second grade, I believe, right? I'm sorry if I'm getting it wrong. I can't, like, I think it's second grade, but now I'm assuming it's first. I don't know, because now I feel like it is first. But anyways, she helped him with that. I mean, he kissed her and asked her to marry him, and she said, oh, someday, little Archie, you know, like, someday. And it's like, even at, like, how can you not love that? Like, I love friendship. I love, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, the way that Archie and Betty look at each other is really so different from every other couple. I mean, you have to see this, the difference, whether it be big or small. There is a difference between Betty looking at Jughead and Betty looking at Archie. And there is also something I want to, like, yeah, I wanted to include something, but I don't know if it has really to do why I ship Archie and Betty. But basically, it was like someone tweeted on my timeline, you know, like, when Archie was like, oh, you're so perfect to Betty, you know, I'm not good enough for you. And then when Jughead's like, oh, you're the perfect girl next door, you know, it was kind of like, he said it with disgust, like, oh, the perfect girl next door, and people pointed that out, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting. That is true. So I just wanted to kind of say that, because that is true. I mean, I never really thought much into it, you know, but I guess, yeah, when he said you're like the perfect girl next door, it did kind of sound like you're the perfect girl next door, because, you know, he's opposite of that, so of course that's not something he's for. But Betty's not perfect. Everyone just assumes. Thankfully, she's getting to be herself now. But, you know, even if it's dark moments, so be it, you know, at least she gets to be herself. Bottling it up is not helping. Okay, but Archie and Betty, like, I have shipped them from episode 1, season 1. I mean, even when Archie turned her down, I knew why he did. It was clear that he had feelings for her, but he didn't want to risk losing his best friend, and he was sleeping with Miss Grundy, and he still saw her as this perfect girl, and so him himself sleeping with his fucking teacher, of course, doesn't feel good enough for her. But then seeing Jughead and Betty together, it's like, damn, like, that could have been me, like, you know, like, maybe I was good enough. Maybe I shouldn't have just assumed, you know, she's this perfect person, you know. Because, you know, when Betty and Jughead, when he put his arm around her and she, like, touched it, Archie was jealous and he continued to be jealous, so forth. And I don't care what he says. When Veronica confronted him about, you know, looking at Betty and Jughead longingly, and he's like, well, I always like Betty as a friend. And it's like, yeah, okay, so that explains why you were looking at them longingly, like, because you love her as a friend. Like, dude, please, don't cover your tracks, because you suck at it. But, yeah, I love Archie and Betty. Like, I love their friendship. I love that even though there's all this drama going on, and even though, like, everyone else is, like, fighting, Archie and Betty never go one-on-one with each other. Their friendship always kind of stays the same. It has its ups and downs, but it still stays steady and the same, and they're still there for each other, even when they're kind of, like, you know, not okay with each other, like in the beginning of season 1, how Betty was upset and stuff. But, so I love Archie and Betty. Like, I just see the end game in them. Like, I see it. You know, the way they look at each other, the way they talk about each other, the way they defend each other, the way they are with each other, you know, the way that kiss was. I mean, it's so obvious that there's feelings there, much deeper than I think both of them realize, and hopefully they're going to come to their senses and start realizing that these feelings are there, and hopefully talk about the kiss pretty fucking soon, because I'm still waiting on the kiss talking. But, yeah, I don't know how to, explain why I love Archie and Betty. Like, I mean, there's just so many ways I could explain. Just, like I said, way they look at each other, the way they kissed. I mean, just the way they are with each other. It's so different than any other friendship or couple on the show. They really do have a special connection and bond, and I can't wait till we get to see more of their history as kids, because we're going to learn so much more, not only about them as kids together, but also Jughead as a kid with them, and him feeling like a third wheel and stuff. And I also think that's like a vital thing, like Jughead always kind of feeling like the third wheel to Archie and Betty and stuff. But yeah, I love Archie and Betty. Like, I mean, it's just, you can't deny there's feelings there. Whether you ship them or not, there are feelings there, and they're going to be explored eventually. So, I mean, that's all I'm going to say. Like, Archie and Betty are happening. I totally believe they are endgame, and same with Veronica, which I'm about to get into. Jughead Jones and Veronica Lodge. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please, Lord, give me the strength to hold on for their friendship, because I love Jughead and Veronica. I think they're like Tony and Cheryl. They're alike, but different sides of the tracks. You know, they're like complete opposites, but still alike, but from opposite sides of the track. And that's what I love. You know, it's kind of like she's the North Side princess and he's the South Side king, or North Side queen, and he's the South Side king, you know. And it's like, they have a lot more in common than they realize, and the little scenes that they do have always make me so happy, because even when it's like a really tense scene, you can't deny that the tension between Jughead and Veronica is really intense. Like, I'm looking like, holy shit, he wants to rip her clothes off, because like like they look at each other and like it's really intense. And then there's moments where you have him, just little moments where like Jughead's just like looking at Veronica as she's talking, and he has like this smile, and it's like, like I love them. Like, I think they would be so perfect for each other. I think, you know, with the whole daddy issues, I mean, they're not the same, but they are in a sense, because, you know, FP did have his hand in Hiram's work at one point, and, you know, Hiram is a bad person, you know, and he does bad stuff, and FP's done his bad stuff in the day, you know. And they both have kind of like a messed up life. I mean, her life basically drastically changed when her dad went to prison, and now he's back. It's still like this like war zone inside her house. And so I just think Jughead and Veronica definitely have a lot more in common than they realize. And I think that they could really have a great friendship, because I think like Archie and Betty, they have that connection, and Veronica and Jughead know this, and I think it would be so great to see Jughead and Veronica become closer. And maybe when the triangle starts, they do. Maybe because the triangle's starting up, you know, maybe she turns to him, and maybe he turns to her because he's upset about Betty and she's upset about Archie, I don't know. Or maybe because Jellybean comes into season 3 and Veronica bonds with her and then bonds with Jughead. I really want, like, I of course want Jughead and Veronica together. I think they're endgame. Honestly, that scene in season 1 when you have Archie and Betty on one side, it pops, and then you have Veronica and Jughead on the other side. I legit see that scene being the scene when the show completely ends. Like, them grown up, you know, in college or whatever, and they're together, sitting in the booth, and there's Archie and Betty together, and Jughead and Veronica. Because I feel like that, even though it could mean nothing, I feel like it means something, showing them like that. Like, I just feel like when the show ends, that's how it's going to end, with them in the booth, but together. And could you imagine Jughead and Veronica? Like, oh my God. Like Veronica would be such a difference for Jughead. Like, Betty and Jughead are a little too, like, alike. And I don't know, well, it's probably because they're related. Not blood related, but they're still related. But, I don't know, Jughead and Betty have that first love kind of thing. I don't know, it's not really jiving with me anymore, you know, I guess. I don't know, I just feel like it's kind of just run its course. I don't know, I just feel like their love is kind of like, it's not love, you know, like that love you see. Like, with Jughead and Veronica, I could see the love. Like, I could see them together. I could see them happy, you know. I could see them confiding in each other. Like, oh my God, could you imagine if Jughead and Veronica got together? Like, ugh! Like, I just really hope we get a friendship. Like, I really hope we do. Like, come on. Like, season 3 better bring a friendship between Jughead and Veronica. You know, like, and I want, like, yeah, I want a friendship. Like, of course I want them together, but a friendship would be nice to start with. Like, something, give us some more scenes. But yeah, why I ship them, I mean, any scene they're in, I mean, just look at the tension, just look at the looks they give each other. I mean, look at the looks he will give her sometimes, even when she just says something, he'll just give a little smile. Or the fact that he, like, steals some of her popcorn, she doesn't even care. Like, that's just so cute. Like, I love that. And, I mean, I think, yeah, I just think that Jughead and Veronica would, I think they would understand each other a lot better than Betty understands Jughead and Archie understands Veronica. I just feel like Jughead and Veronica, I think they have their own connection that they don't realize yet. But I definitely think it's there, and I think it's going to progress into a friendship and hopefully into a relationship. Because honestly, if they never get together, I'm going to, even if they never get together, I'm going to be disappointed, like extremely disappointed, especially with Archie and Betty, like, nah. But, I mean, as long as they're, like, friends, then I won't be so disappointed, but I know they're going to end up together. Like, Jughead and Veronica, like, it just makes so much sense. Like, it just, I could just see it, like, and it's, you know what it kind of reminds me of? And I hate to say this because the guy who plays this character is a disgusting sexual predator, you know, like, it. But, you know what they kind of remind me of, like, personality-wise? Jughead and Veronica kind of remind me of Jackie and Hyde from that 70s show, where Jackie's, like, Veronica and Hyde, you know, Jughead. That's what it kind of reminds me of, that kind of couple, where it's like, you wouldn't think they'd be together, but when they are, they make perfect sense, and they fit perfectly together. And I could totally see, you know, Veronica's personality, you know, her wearing the pearls and all that, and her being with Jughead, and him wearing the leather jacket and his plaid. Oh my god. And then imagine if she wears plaid. Like, she gets with them, and then she gets a serpent jacket, or she starts wearing a leather jacket like him. Oh my, I could see it, I could see it, I could see it. We've already seen her in a leather jacket, and she looks good, which, no surprise there. But, oh my god, I could see it now. Like, if her and Jughead get together, I could totally see either her becoming a serpent, or, oh my god, she would be a serpent queen if he's still serpent king. Because that would make a lot more sense than Betty, sorry. But, like, damn, Jughead and Veronica, just, it makes so much sense. Like, I don't know. You know, do you ever get that feeling where you're just like, these characters belong together? Like, they just belong together. Like, how can I tell you enough that they belong together in the right words? It's so hard. But, like, oh my god, like, if they ever dated, like, it would just be so fucking interesting to see. Like, like, I want them to happen so bad. Like, I hope we start the friendship in season 3. Please, 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 let us start the friendship in season 3. So that's why I shipped Veronica and Archie. I mean, yeah, I love them so much with all my heart. I mean, like, Archie has a connection unlike any other, and I mean, the feelings there are so obvious, and the way they look at each other, and the way they care about each other, and the way she turns to him when she doesn't turn to her boyfriend Jughead, and the way he might turn to her instead of turning to his girlfriend Veronica. Like, I just love it, and I love that we're going to get to see more of their history, and I love and of course you can't forget that window scene. I mean, these feelings that have long been buried shook loose. And I mean, having Jughead narrate this makes it even better, because he's dating Betty, and yet he's narrating like a romantic scene between his girlfriend and his best friend. And that's not even the first time. The first time was when he was like, it wasn't one heart that broke that night, it was 2, which always sticks with me. Because, yeah, you could say, oh, his heart was broken because he just broke his best friend's heart. Or maybe it's because he just hurt his friend and worried that he lost her, and also because he does have feelings for her, but he just doesn't want to say because he's not good enough and because he's sleeping with Miss Grundy. You take it as you will. I take it like that. You know, either way. Okay, next one is Shoni. I just recently talked about this, but I love that Cheryl is bisexual. Out of all the characters, I am so fucking glad that she is bisexual. I just think it's such an awesome thing. Like, I never would have thought Cheryl, you know, not that I was like, oh my god, Betty's bisexual or anything, but I just never would have thought Cheryl's bisexual, and I never would have thought there was a girl before Tony, Heather, that her mom, you know, made her get rid of and stop being friends with. Like, that was very interesting to find out, because I didn't know that, and it definitely gives you more insight into kind of how Cheryl was raised, and why she kind of is the way she is, and why she kind of lacks love in a way, but isn't so much anymore thanks to Tony. But, yeah, I love that Cheryl's bisexual. I mean, because it's so cool to see someone like Cheryl with her personality with another girl. Because, you know, girls, you know, they can kind of, hormones get out in sync or out of whack, and, you know, they can have their problems. But it's so interesting that someone with her personality is with a girl, and it just so happens to be Tony, who has basically the same personality, but they're just from different sides of the tracks. But yet they perfectly fit together, you know? Like, Tony could have easily just gave up on Cheryl after Cheryl was mean to her, but she continuously went back to her because she could see that she was hurting and she cared. And Cheryl opened up her heart, and thank God she did, because look at her and Tony now. I mean, Tony barely knew Cheryl, and yet she went to all these lengths to rescue her. And I mean, that was a beautiful moment. And then Cheryl crying, thinking she's just hearing Tony's voice and it's not real. And then Tony comes into the room, and Cheryl being so surprised that someone actually came to rescue her. And it's like, oh my God. And that kiss, it was like a monumental scene. Like, when it was like long awaited. And I don't know, I just feel like with Cheryl and Tony, like I love how they first started out as like enemies, and then they kind of went into like a little bit of friends, and then really got into like more girlfriend. And I mean, I just love the way Cheryl is with Tony, and I love the way Tony is with Cheryl, and I love that their personalities, like, even though they're alike but different, they fit perfectly. And even though they're from different sides of the track, they don't let that affect them. And I could totally see Tony living in Thistle House, maybe in season 3, because she really has no home. So let's hope for that. And I mean, seeing Cheryl become a serpent, and like Tony just standing there being so happy, smiling. It's like, oh, true love, man. That's true love. Like, they better last, because if the writers fucking end that shit, I'm gonna be pissed. They better last, even though it is possible that Cheryl's first love, Heather, could come into play. I don't know, season 3, season 4, I don't know. Maybe she comes into play, I don't know. But if she does, that could cause a little bit of trouble for Cheryl and Tony, but probably not. Hopefully not. Like, I would hope not, but you never know. But, yeah, I just love Cheryl and Tony. It makes sense. I mean, I love that, like I said, that she's bisexual, Cheryl, you know, and I just love how they started and then how they ended up. It's a very interesting way to see their progression, you know, because they hated each other, basically. They were going to fight each other, and then it's like, you have the scene where Tony's like trying to comfort her, and she's like, get your hands off me, and then you have Tony again going to her, even though she was mean to her, because it's like, Tony can see that she's hurting, and, you know, Cheryl can open up and actually feel loved, you know. Tony gives her the love that she so desperately wants, and, you know, I think there really is that true love between them. I really think they have that bond. No matter how long they've known each other or not, they do have that bond. And, I mean, I can't wait to see what else holds for them. I mean, I can't wait to see them both wearing their serpent jackets. Like, I am so psyched. I hope they'll wear them in school. Like, I just want to see Cheryl walking down the hall with, like, Tony and her serpent jacket. Like, oh, God, so many things I want to happen. And, I mean, yeah, I love also that Cheryl basically took Serpent's side. As soon as she found out that her family basically murdered innocent people for fucking land and were celebrating this dude, she was like, nah, I'm done. I'm with the Serpents. And that was the scene that really said it. And even I think it was Vanessa. Oh, yeah, I think it was in Madeline's video. Her and Vanessa were talking about it. And I think Vanessa was the one who said, like, that was the moment where, like, Madeline, like, that was the moment where, like, Cheryl fell in love with Tony, or really started to like Tony. Which it kind of makes sense, because, I mean, she did, you know, she was like, here's my candy apple bomb, peace, I'm out. And she went to the front. Because, I mean, even Cheryl herself, whose family killed these people, is like, this is fucking disgusting. We're celebrating this. Like, she's meant to be a serpent. It makes so much sense. Now, my last, well, I have 2 more ships, but my other main ship is Phallus, F.P. Jones, and Alice Cooper. I love them. Like, I've loved them since season 1. I love their banter. I love how he sees her for who she really is, and I love that she can be her real self with him, as opposed to with Hal. He doled her down and made her, and she became this perfect housewife who just tried to do everything perfect, you know, but she has demons, you know. So I love that FP brings out the real Alice, and I love that she feels comfortable enough to be the real Alice with FP, and I love that, you know, they still have that banter, and you can see there's a lot of history between them, and I'm super intrigued as to, like, what happened back in the day. Like, why did they break up? Like, why did she get with Hal, you know? What happened at prom? I know she was pregnant, but, like, was there more to the story, you know? And I just think FP and Alice, I know their history is epic, because she was a serpent at one point, so you know they were probably, like, the fucking golden couple of the serpents, basically. But I think Alice and FP really are meant to be because I think, like I said, he gets her. She gets him. He can be himself with her. She can be herself with him. And that means a lot. I mean, Alice Cooper, who tries to be so perfect, can actually fully be herself. I mean, even walking into the diner looking like all sexy for him, then that shows you that this is the person she's meant to be with. Because this is the person who actually allows her and sees the real her, Not allows her, but, sees the real her and brings out the real her and is like, don't be ashamed of it. Be who you are. And that's what I love about FP and Alice. And I mean, I know once we find out more about their history, it's just going to make me love them even more. And I honestly do think they are eventually going to happen. I do think that is true. I mean, I do want to believe they're endgame. I don't know for sure. I do want to believe they are endgame. Because, I mean, FP and Alice, I think they will end up together. I mean, maybe, they broke up long ago, but maybe in the end they'll end up back together. And I think that would be a perfect way to kind of end the story for those two, is if they ended up together. Not saying that just because Bughead, they could break up. No, no, no. Because even if they dated, Bughead could still date. I'm just saying, I want FP and Alice to happen, and I think they will. But I can't wait till we get more of their history. I definitely want to get more into their history and stuff. But yeah, FP and Alice, I just, honestly, the reason I ship them so much is the way they look at each other, the banter, and the way that she can just be herself. That's what I love, is because with how she was so dulled down and she pretended to be so perfect and all this bullshit. And it's like with FP, it's like you get to see her, the real her. And also it made her realize that, I was a serpent once. You guys are not bad people. I know you're not. I should stop being against you and I should be for you. And that was an epic moment. Like, I fucking love that moment because thank God, like, come on, the serpents are not bad people. It's just you guys give them a bad rap or blame everything bad on them, which is totally not fair. So my last one is, well, I do have others, but it's like, I mean, I don't really, like, I'm not opposed to Reggie and Josie. Like, I'm not opposed to them. I would ship them, maybe. Maybe I would ship them. I'd have to see them as a couple to, I'd ship them, because they did have some cute moments and stuff when they were, like, all picking up the trash, and they were talking before Veronica interrupted, That was a cute little moment, looking at each other, all like, so I'm not opposed to Reggie and Josie. Also, well, yeah, not opposed to Josie and Reggie. I don't know if I would ship Reggie and Veronica. Like, if I ship, of course, Jughead and Veronica, but let's just say that didn't happen until, like, season 5, they get together, then someone else has to be with Veronica. I guess I wouldn't be opposed to her and Reggie. I mean, I guess I'm not opposed to her and Reggie. So, Veronica and Reggie, I'm not opposed to. Reggie and Josie. Moose and Kevin, I'm not opposed to. Even though I kind of would like to see Kevin and Fangs together. I don't know. I think I would ship them. I'd like to see them together, but I'm not opposed to either one. And then Fred, Andrews, and Hermione Lodge. I just would love to, honestly, I don't know, like, when they were together, it's not like I die hard ship them. I did ship them, but it wasn't like when they broke up, like, oh, no, like, but it's like, I don't know, as the season 2 progressed, even though there was a lot of, like, moments, and, even though they were kind of at war, they still, like, that scene at the end, where he looks at her and smiles, and then looks away, and then she looks at him and smiles and looks away, and it's like, like, you can tell they really do care about each other, like, even despite all this, and, like, her going over there to, even though she won, she still went over there, to congratulate him and say, you know what, it was a hell of a race, it came in super close, like, she did that, like, like, I don't know, I like Fred and Hermione, I like who Hermione is with Fred, and I like Fred with Hermione, like, I don't know, like, I know some people would like him back with Mary, and I do like Mary, but I would rather see Fred with Hermione, and I feel like Hermione still has feelings for Fred. I think she does. And I do believe she cares about him. But I think she also puts what she needs to do above caring about him, which kind of sucks. But hopefully that will change. Hopefully we get more Fred and Hermione scenes in season 3. Because maybe, even though he's not mayor and she is, maybe she'll still have him, like, helping her out and stuff. You don't know. Like, because hopefully she doesn't follow through fucking Hiram's plans. Because I swear to God, I will be freaking pissed if she still sticks by his side after everything. But, yeah, I don't know. I like Fred and Hermione. I like who she is with him. I like how he is with her. I don't know. They just make sense. And she seemed happy with him. And And seeing her with Hiram, she just seems so like, you know, it's so loveless, the marriage. And she just kind of seems like she's just like stuck in this marriage. Not that she can't get out, but it's like you see no joy in her face at all when she's with Hiram or talking about Hiram or anything. But when she was with Fred, she was happy, you know, and she was a good person. And then everything went to shit when Hiram came back because he's such a bad person. He influences everyone else, but that's about to change. But yeah, so I hope that explained why I ship these couples. I didn't give you really any reasons for Reggie and Josie and Veronica, because those are just kind of like, if it happens, I will ship them, which Josie and Reggie, I believe, is happening, at least in the finale, it seemed like it was. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to them, like I said, Veronica and Reggie, not opposed. Moose and Kevin, not opposed, although I really want Kevin and Fangs, I'd like to see that. But yeah, so, also, like I said, Fred and Hermione. So I hope that answered your question. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope, like, after watching this, maybe you, like, do some research and, like, kind of look at, like, Barchi things or Veronica things or Phallus things and kind of see, like, what I'm talking about, what I'm getting at, you know, and see why I think they're endgame or why I ship them. Because I can talk about it, I can talk about it all I want, but I can't like show you the scene, like express the scene to you in this video. You know, you have to actually watch the scene to really get what I'm saying and why I see what I see, you know, because of course I analyze things. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this is what you wanted. I hope this was good. Like, I don't know, I feel like, I'm not good. Okay, anyways, I hope this is what you wanted. I hope you are okay with me, like, saying your name and, like, putting your comment. If not, I'm so sorry. Like, please just let me know and I won't do it again. Like, sorry. But, yes, thank you for asking me that. I really like it, and I love talking about Riverdale and my couples. And, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Okay, so I wanted to add this to the video because I forgot to mention this part, so I'm just going to put it in. Also, another reason why I ship FP and Alice is we can't forget they share a child. I mean, I shipped them long before we even, like, had the idea of the child thing, I guess. I mean, it was planted, but it wasn't really, like, explored or really touched on just yet, you know? So I was already shipping them from the beginning. Plus, child or no child, I still would ship them. But they did share a child, you know, or share, because, like, that's one thing. I'm very curious. I feel like Charles, the real Charles Cooper, you know, the real son of Alice and FP, you know, everything points to him being dead. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like there's more to that story. Like, I feel like that's not just the way it's going to end, you know, or maybe that is the way. I don't know. I just feel like that story would be a little more explored because that is, like, a very big part of their history. Not to mention it explains basically what was going on at prom, which was a huge thing, too, because, I mean, FP brought it up at the dinner table, you know, in season 1 when Alice was, like, going in on him and shit. But yeah, so I just don't know if that storyline's over yet. Like, I'm kind of thinking that he's still alive. Maybe that's just, like, I don't know. I'm just thinking that. I don't know. But I think he might still be alive. I don't know. I'm just saying. The story doesn't seem to be over yet. And I don't see it. I mean, maybe it could continue with Chick instead. But I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be something else to FP and Alice and this child that they had and she gave up for adoption, you know. Yeah, like, I just feel like it. So, yeah, they share a child, so that's also a big part of shipping them. I mean, it also gives you insight into their history, I mean, too. But, yeah, I just wanted to put in they also, like, share a child, because that's, like, even though that's not, like, a main reason to ship them, I'm just saying that is a vital part of their relationship, you know, and it's a big part. I mean, Jesus, you know, they share a child, one that they assume is dead, that is dead until proven otherwise, I guess. We'll wait and see, but is dead. And I think that's such, like, that scene when she went to his trailer and just told him everything and broke down was so emotional, and he was there for her. Like, he did not, like, push her away after he just found out all this information he knew nothing about. I mean, he held her, he was there for her. Like, they are meant for each other. He's just her rock. He really is. I mean, no matter their ups and downs, he's always there for her. He really is her rock. And right now, especially with Hal and him being the Black Hood, she's going to need that. And hopefully FP will be there to be her rock, because he really is her rock. And I mean, he really, stood strong in that moment and just like held her and stuff. And that was such an emotional scene. And I mean, Machen and Skeet, they are just fucking epic at delivering phallus scenes that just make you cry or smile or fangirl the F out or fanboy the F out. I just love them. Also, I want to add something about Archie and Betty because KJ Appa is at OzCon, I guess, and he said something about Archie that I just want to include in here, which I'm going to put the tweet, because the tweet of what he said from OzCon, and let's just have this moment of happiness, because you know what? It might not mean much, but it means something to me. And I'm going to read you what he said, even though it's on the screen. But anyways, so basically, propping up. I love Archie, obviously. From the comics, Archie and Betty are at Endgame. It could be a process where it may never happen, KJ. Our boy KJ just legit came out here and said he loves Barchi. Not he can't choose between Barchi and Barchi. He loves Barchi. Loves Barchi, meaning ships Barchi, right? That would lead you to believe he also ships them. But KJ Apple legit said, I love Barchi. He finally stated, I love Barchi in just the most authentic way. I love Barchi. Do you need any more said? No, because I heard it all just right there. It's more than Lily's ever said. No offense, it's true. But I love how he puts it could be a process or it may never happen. Like, dude, it's going to happen. It's going to be a process. But I get you. You got to put that. It maybe might happen or maybe not. But really it will. Like, oh my God. So now we know when Barchi happens, Captain KJ to the rescue. Yes, 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 yes. Oh my God. Like, dude, because he's never really stated that he loves Barchi or that he loves them because they're the endgame couple in the comics, He's never stated something like legit like that. He's always said, I'm like Archie, I can't choose between Betty and Veronica. And I'm not saying in this tweet he chose Betty. I'm just saying he loves Barchi. He must ship Barchi. And I'm sure Barchi too, so it's not like it's just one-sided. But to hear him say, I love Barchi, is just like, and then of course, always it may be a process or it may never happen, but we know it's going to happen. So clearly it's going to be a process, but I am still so excited. Like, I know that's not like really a reason to ship them, or is it? I mean, is it a reason to ship them? If you're questioning whether you should ship Archie and Betty, maybe this tweet will make you realize you should ship them. Because, like, dude, they're gonna come. Oh my God. I'm so excited. The connection between them, it's just unlike any other on the show. And, like, a lot of these couples I love they all have a connection, but in their own way. It's not the same kind of connections. There's different kind of emotions attached to these connections in different situations. So they're all different connections between, Archie and Shoni and Veronica and Phallus, and stuff like that. So I just love that. Like, oh my God, when I read that, I legit was like, I was so happy. Like, just to actually hear him say, I love Archie, or like read it, whatever it may be. Like, I'm sure the video will be released soon enough because I'm sure someone recorded it. But to actually know that he said, I love Archie, like, actually stated, I love Archie. Like, thank you, KJ. You have made you have made these, like, 3-4 months of waiting for Riverdale Season 3 that much easier. Because you just gave me something when I had nothing, to be honest. Because, we don't really have much Archie in Season 2 to kind of hold on to until Season 3, which I'm so excited for. Anyways, yeah, I just want to put that in there, too, for another Archie and Betty shipping reason.